Yo, RX finally back with another breakdown of UFC Vegas 74. Finally, after a week break that sucked ass, we are finally back with another card. Is it a good card? No. Because every fucking 5 minutes a fight's getting cancelled, someone's pulling out. So yeah, this card's taken a lot of fucking hits over the last couple weeks. But overall, we still have a card, kind of. And could still deliver. If that Dern card delivered with how, I guess, weak it was on paper. And if fucking Dern and Hill could be a great fight, I think anything can be at this point. So yeah, overall, it's great to be back. We got, I think, 13 cards in a row. And thank God, because I need something in my life to make me happy. Cause I ain't got shit besides the UFC. So, yeah, not much more I can think to say besides it's good to be back. Please like, comment, sub, 100 subs, go by the yeah. And let's talk about some fights. So we have 13, I believe. Still, I don't think, yeah, 13. And, yeah, of course the worst fights on this card have not been touched at all by the injury bug or anything like that. Only the, actually good fights. But, however, we start off with a pretty terrible fight, to be honest, in the light heavyweight division between two dudes who've moved down from heavyweight. As we got Maxim Maximus Grishin versus Philipe Monstro Linz. Terrible fucking fight, but you never know. We'll talk about Max Grishin, that's a welterweight. Max Grishin, old motherfucker with a nice veteran record in the UFC. He is 2-2. His 2 wins are Gazihermarad and Tagulov and William Knight, and his 2 losses are Marcin Tabora and Dustin Jacoby. His wins, 2 guys he should beat, and his losses, 2 guys he should lose to. Tabora, the debut's never gonna be easy, and then losing Dustin Jacoby, can't get mad at that ever. And like I said, beat William Knight as you should, beat the other dude as you should, and he's winning ones he should win, losing one he should. I've never really been impressed with Max. I think he's just okay. He's in his 4 fights, I've not seen anything impressive from him. Like, he is 39 years old. He does have a veteran record, 32-9. So he's on the older side. He got to the UFC pretty late. By the time he debuted, he's already he's already like 36, I believe. He was 36 in his debut. So he's already old. So he joined past his prime if he did have one. Yeah, he's had a long fucking career. He's fought a lot of motherfuckers. The most notable fight he's had outside the before the UFC is Magomedov Goliath, who he lost to, of course. Yeah, he's very tall. He is 6'3", which is pretty fucking tall for light heavyweight, I would think. And yeah, he's very just there. He's not very good. He's never gonna beat someone. I was gonna say ever be ranked, but he's never even gonna beat someone very good. He's gonna be I would say gatekeeper, but I don't think he's good enough. He's a tester. He'll throw him in there with a young guy, or I guess in this case Felipe Linz, and just test him. Because he is still a decent fighter. He's not good, but he still can give a test, and let's see how he does. Like I said, being very tall, very, again, a good veteran, and let's see how he does. Yeah, he's gonna, of course, use his height in this one if he's smart, trying to keep it at distance. Probably is a better striker, might be better on the ground. This is a favorable matchup for him. He's not had many of in the UFC so far. Even though he's had like 6 fights fucking cancelled. So And speaking of cancelled fights, to talk about his opponent, Philipe Lins, not a spring chicken himself. He is 37 years old, also 2-2 in the UFC. His 2 wins are Marcin Prachnio and OSP. His 2 losses are Andrei Arlovski and Tanner Boser. Same thing I said with Maxim. He's beating guys he should. Prachnio's garbage and OSP is 50. And he's losing to guys he should. Arlovski is better and Boser is better. Which, if you're shittier than Boser, that should tell you a lot right off rip. This dude's had fucking more canceled fights than he's had fucking I don't even know. In the UFC alone, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fights canceled. He's trying to challenge Alex Perez. But unlike Alex Perez, this guy actually fights. Alex Perez should still be cut. He's a fucking bum. But that's besides the point. Lynn's best days are way behind him, like 37 years old. His best days were in PFL, not saying much. That's a pussy organization. He did win PFL, I believe. He beat nobody, so like his biggest fight was in Bellator, getting probably crushed by Vadim Nemkov, who's really good, I won't lie. Besides that, he's fought a bunch of nobodies. But like I said, he was in Bellator and PFL, what do you expect? And in the UFC, he's, like I said, getting beat by a guy like Tanner Boser is not impressive. Like, since that both Frey, he has moved down for his next 2, the best being his 2 wins, and he looked alright. Being Prachnio, yeah. And then running through OSP in 49 seconds, yeah, like, I picked against him that one, because I thought OSP still had a little juice in him. OSP's done, so I really don't put any credibility on that win. Overall, Lins is just okay. He has good power, and that's about the long and short of it, with the positive for Philipe. Again, 37, and his last 2 wins are against 2 cans. I'm not saying Maxim is much better than those 2, but I would still say he is better. So, you know. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Maxim Grishin minus 145 to plus 120. I agree. Maxim is probably the better fighter, I think. Better on the feet. Taller by a couple inches, I believe. 6'3", actually no, only by an inch to reach. He's actually shorter in reach. He should win this one. He keep that distance, use the jab. Don't let him get in close and knock your head off. And Maxim should have a probably boring but clear decision. So I'm going Maxim Grishin. Am I confident? Not really. I'm not a big fan of picking Maxim Grishin, but I think he can win this. He's been off for over a year, so being that old, taking a long break is smart and bad at the same time. But overall, I do think he's the better fighter, and I think he will get the win here. So I'm going Maxim Grishin by decision. I don't see a finish on his end. More likely, he gets finished. So I'm going Maxim Grishin by decision. I phrased that sentence wrong. If there were to be a finish, Grishin would be getting finished by the wins. So, but I think you know what I meant. So Grishin by decision to begin the card. Not a good fight. After that, we move into a bantamweight bout, which is fine. I'm not jumping for joy at this one. I think it's kind of whatever. We got Luan Lacerda versus the monster Blackshear. Yeah, like I said, it's nothing special. It's 2 unproven guys who need a win. So let's talk about Luan. Luan is 0-1 in the UFC, coming off his UFC debut against Cody Stamann only a couple months ago in Brazil. At home, had a home game against Cody Stamann and didn't look terrible. He looked fine. Gave Cody a fight, lost, but still gave Cody a fight. How much does that really say though? Like I'm not very high on Cody, to be honest. So, but overall, yeah, he's fine. I think Luan's a fine fighter. When I saw, from seeing only one fight of his as a plus 300 underdog, he looked fine. he didn't do anything like crazy, but he didn't do anything stupid. He gave Cody a fight, and he showed some promise. He's only 30, so he's still very young, and at bantamweight, there's a bunch of talent. It would be nice to have more. So, yeah, I got really little to say about Luan. He looked good against Cody. He had good calf kicks. His striking is fine. He's just fine. Not much to say, to be honest. Yeah, not much I can really say in that case. To talk about his opponent, Blackshear. He is 0-1-1 in the UFC. His UFC debut was a draw against Yusuf Zalal because he won the first 2 rounds, but then got 10-8 in the third. He was actually a pretty big underdog that one, if I remember, and I picked him, and he really did almost win if he didn't get 10-8'd, because he gassed really bad. But then he came back a couple months ago against Farid Bashara and looked fine. Gave Farid a decent fight, but still lost. And now this is probably his last chance. If he loses this, he'd be 0-2-1. Not a good look. And let's see if he can get the job in here. He fought a lot of decent guys before UFC. Chris Mortinho, Pat Sabatini, Danny Sabatello. So he's fought a couple decent guys. Danny and Pat, both pretty good fighters. And in the UFC, if he didn't get 10-8, he would have beat Zalal. Who, yeah, Zalal is garbage, but still, short notice, good. Would have been nice to get that win. And then he made Farid's debut look very, very underwhelming. All I remember saying after that fight was, man, Farid is nowhere near his brother's talent. So that is very impressive to do. Like, it's more of a moral victory that he made Farid look so not good. So, Damon's not a bad fighter. Just, is he really that good? I don't think, for bantamweight standards, no. If we're going by bantamweight talent standards, he's not good at all. Like, I feel bad. If Damon was in, like, if he, like, I think as you go up in division weight, you get easier for the standards for talent get lower. Like, let's be honest, heavyweight, the standards for talent is fucking low as shit when people are calling Cyril Gahn good. But at bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, even welterweight to an extent, you have to be really good to even be mentioned. Like I said, bantamweight, lightweight maybe, even featherweight, and maybe welterweight could have a top 20. So, and do I think Damon fits in even a top 50? Probably not. Like, I could think of a couple guys he probably beats, but they're like the lowest level guys. So, I think Damon's just fine. Like, overall, I think this fight is just a battle of two dudes who need a win. Two dudes who are about the same level skill-wise. I think one dude is a little bit more skilled, but maybe I could be wrong. And I think a big thing that's going to play a factor in this fight is, like I said, Damon did gas against Zalal pretty bad. And if Luan is smart, he watched that fight a couple times and saw body work really fucked up Damon. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Luan Lacerda -140 to +115. I would agree. I'm moving down a little bit as a favorite. I'm moving more to a -125. He should be a favorite, but a little favorite because I think Luan is a little more talented as a fighter, but I think it's like a little gap. Like I could see Damon winning this one. I would not be shocked if he did. But overall, I do think Luan will be able to be the better fighter for majority of this fight. So I'm going Luan Lacerda to win this one. I think he'll do better on the feet, maybe take it to the ground if he has to, and yeah, I'm going Luan Lacerda by decision. Nothing special about this fight, but I do think Luan Lacerda will show he is decent after giving Cody a pretty decent fight in his debut and at home. So going to the Apex, more quiet, more calm, I think Luan will get the W. So yeah, Luan Lacerda by decision. After that, we go to the worst fight on the card, the Battle of cans, as we got Jinh Frey versus Elise Reed. Why? This should be main eventing a Bellator show, not being on a UFC card. These two are fucking terrible. Why does one even have a job still? But whatever, let's talk about this shitty fucking fight, and let's start with someone who, I don't know how they're not cut yet. Jinh Frey. She is fucking garbage. Jinh in the UFC is 2-4. Again, my point proven. Her 2 wins are Gloria DiPala and Ashley Yoder. Her 4 losses are Kay Hansen, ugh, Christ, Luma Lukbumi, Vanessa Demopoulos, and Polyana Viana. I'll give her benefit of the doubt. The little bit of devil's advocate I'll play here is she is losing to good fighters outside of Kay Hansen. Luma Lukbumi is a dog. She's really good. Fucking Polyana Viana's really good, and fucking Vanessa Demopoulos, I think it's really good, just she had a bad performance in her last fight. And no, that was not a robbery, shut the fuck up. And then 2 people she beat, Gloria DiPala is garbage, Ashley Yoder is like, what, 60? So, like, it happens. I have one thing I just noticed, Jinh does win these can versus can fights when she actually faces someone with a little bit of fucking talent, which, fuck, Polyana Viana has more talent in her fucking pinky than Jinh Frey has in total, but still, yeah, Jin's garbage. She's shown me, in her fucking 6 fights, I've seen nothing even in her wins, I've not seen a positive thing. Like, what has she done? Even outside of UFC, she fought a bunch of nobodies and lost a good amount. So she's just not good. And now she's 38 years old, 11-8 record. Her job's on the line here, and I just don't think she's good. I don't think she's UFC level in any means. And I think this is the end of the road for Jinh in the UFC. Why she even got here, I don't fucking know. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't fucking know. To talk about her opponent, Elise Reed, who is also a fucking joke in my opinion, but if I can say anything, I think she's better than Elise, rather than Jinh Frey. Elise in UFC is 2-3. Her 2 wins are Corey McKenna and Melissa Martinez. Her 3 losses are Sajara Eubanks, Sam Hughes, and Luke Boomy. One thing I just noticed with Elise Reed, she loses the can versus can fights like Hughes and Eubanks. Beating McKenna and Martinez, pretty good. Pretty decent wins, knocking off 2 prospects who everyone thought would beat Elise. Not bad. Corey McKenna's not great, but Martinez has shown a little bit of talent in that fight. But she just was not very, I don't know, maybe jitters or some shit. Like, Elise is the way better fighter in this one. Like, just overall, in a couple wins that stand out. Like I said, in her 2nd pro fight, she beat Jasmine Jasdovicius. She beat Melissa Martinez, like I said, Corey McKenna. So she's beating decent fighters. Just the weird thing, she's lost to garbage fighters like Eubanks and Sam Hughes. So I don't fucking get MMA math sometimes. You beat really good fighters who are levels above who you're losing to. I don't fucking get it. Whatever. Overall, Elise is just a better fighter. She's better everywhere, and she should easily win this fight, I think. Yeah. The betting odds for this fight has Elise Reed minus 135 to plus 110. I disagree. I'd have Elise like fucking minus 180. She's just better. She's 8 years younger. She's beaten way better competition, and she's even lost to better well, no, I'll take that back. But she's beat way better fighters, and she's 8 years younger and not coming off a 40-second KO loss to Polyana Viana. So, and she looked better against Luke Boomy than Frey did. So, what does that tell you? Overall, I am going to Elise Reed in this one, of course, and she should win. Sorry about that. Maybe it's a close fight and people cry robbery like the Demopoulos fight, and they'll be wrong again. But overall, I think Reed will just dominate this one and get the decision win. So I am going Elise Reed by decision. Should be pretty easy. After that, this is where my breakdown is not gonna go with Tapologies because the UFC has changed it up. So the next fight actually is not the one it says on Tapology right now. They gotta update that shit. The next fight on the card is a fight that's been moved down from the main card to this fight because someone pulled out. I'll say who in a minute. But we go with Jamie Mullarkey versus Muhammad Dejan Hillman Naimov. Yeah, easy name to say. This is meant to be Jamie Mullarkey versus German Kutasaladze to open the main card, but German did German and pulled out. So now we get Jamie and Naimov. So let's talk about Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie gets a huge step down in competition in this one. He goes from a fight that he probably was going to lose to a fight he easily should win. Jamie is 4-3 in the UFC. His 4 wins are Kama Worthy, Devontae Smith, Michael Johnson, and Francisco Prado. His 3 losses are Brad Riddell, Faraz Ziam, and Jalen Turner. Yeah, you can't get mad. Like, his 4 wins are guys he should beat. Smith and Worthy, not very good. Prado, that was a good performance by him. And Johnson, very good, close fight. His 3 losses, Brad Riddell was still good at that time. Jalen Turner. And Faraz Ziam, that's one he probably should have won, but whatever. But off nights happen. Jamie's really good. Jamie's a killer. He does not give a fuck. He is a brawler, and like he just goes in there and brawls. He does not care. The Johnson fight was a prime example of that. He just goes to war. As of right now, his chin still holds up good. His chin ain't breaking yet, and he's still fucking going into these brawls. He fought a little bit smarter against Prado, if I remember, though. Like, it was more of a pretty good performance. He looked pretty good. So, you know, that's always good to fight smarter, but Prado is not very good. So, overall, like, I can't really say much about Jamie here, because I think this fight's kind of a joke. Like, he's really good. He's a brawler, great ass tank, good chin, and he's gonna win this one. Not much really to say. To talk about his opponent as little as possible, Naimov stepping in on short notice. I think he stepped in on Monday. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. Only thing I know about him is I've not heard anything good about him, and he did compete on Contender Series and lost to a Colin Anglin. So that's a terrible look to be losing to Colin Anglin. So, yeah, not good luck there, guy. Like, really? You're losing to Colin Anglin? Like, I remember Colin Anglin a little bit. He's garbage. So, yeah, I'm not very impressed with that by that. So, he has bounced back since. He did lose another one, but since that fight he is 3-1. But still, man, Colin Anglin? Ugh. And now you're stepping on short notice to fight Jamie Mullarkey. This just gonna be bad for this poor dude. So, the betting odds are not on Tapology, but I do remember looking earlier, and I think Jamie is minus like 400. Biggest favorite on the card, as he should be. He is my lock of the night to win. He's gonna destroy this poor dude, and I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like, no, dude, you stepped in. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to be much of a fight. Maybe early, Jinh will have to take some damage or like duck some shit, but besides that, I think when we hit round 2, round 3, Jinh will just dominate him, maybe at the finish. I'm going Jinh Mullarkey by TKO, knockout, whatever, in the second. I think he'll, again, Naimov is coming in on a really short notice, Monday, and I don't even think he was like trained for a fight, so that's another thing to keep in mind. No, he's been off for 3 months. His last fight was 3 months ago, but again, ow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Naimov winning here, because even if his only way of winning would be shutting off Jamie's lights, and good fucking luck. So I'm going Jinh Mullarkey by TKO in the second, lock of the night. He should win easily. So, Jinh Mullarkey. After that, let's see what's next. Okay, the next fight is another fight that was cursed by the injury bug, as we have John Sexy Mexi Castañeda versus Muin Tajik Gafurov. Pretty good fight. Gafurov is stepping in for Mateus Mendonça, who pulled out not as early, like he pulled out I think last week or 2 weeks ago, so Muin's actually getting a little bit of time to get ready for this fight, which is great to see. So yeah, let's talk about Sexy Mexi John Castañeda. Castañeda in the UFC is 2-2. Seems like we got a lot of those on his fucking card. His 2 wins are Eddie Wineland and Miles Johns, and his 2 losses are Nathaniel Wood and Daniel Santos, who we'll talk about later. Of his 2 wins, you should be beating Eddie Wineland in 2021, and he destroyed Miles Johns. And then his 2 losses, Nathaniel Wood, you're not mad at that, and if I remember, he actually put up a pretty good fight. And that Daniel Santos fight, I'll talk about that more later with Santos, but dude, you can't get mad at losing that fight. Santos just would not go down, and then even Castañeda would not go down after a while. He had to be forced out after a while, so yeah, the ref had to save him. So yeah, Castañeda's really good. From the 4 fights in the UFC, debut against Nathaniel Wood, which that's far from goddamn easy. And then fucking Wineland and Johns back-to-back nice wins, and then Santos a win. I still don't know how he didn't get. He's good. He's only I think 28 years old. Is he 30? He's 31 years old. My bad. And yeah, he's good. From what I've seen, I've not seen really anything bad I can say about him. He did win on Contender Series when he did fight on it a couple years ago. He didn't get a contract that night, but after that he went on a 3-2 streak. A 3-2 record, not streak, my bad. And yeah, he beat Marcelo Rojo in his last regional fight, who was in the UFC. Not very good, but was in the UFC. And yeah, dude, he's good. I think Castañeda is pretty good. And yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how he does in this fight after coming off a loss. I'm happy he has taken 7 months off to recover. That was a lot of damage he took. And let's see how he looks. Let's see. Again, I think taking time off is something huge after the damage he took in that one. So yeah. To talk about his opponent, Muin Gafurov. I've heard decent things about him. He's not a bad fighter from what I heard. He's fought some decent guys on the regional scene, John Lineker being the guy who's you see the most, because I think most people know Lineker, and Lineker's really fucking good. Yeah, Muin's not bad from what I heard. His gas tank is a little questionable from what I heard, and yeah, he's not bad, just on short notice against a dog like Castañeda. I think it's a lot like Naimov. His only way of winning is shutting Castañeda's lights out, which, is he gonna? I don't know. That's a tough question. That's a tough cookie to fucking answer. I I don't think he's gonna be able to shut Castañeda's lights off, and more than anything, he's probably gonna be gassed by like the second. One giant red flag I'm just staring at is on Contender Series. He also was on Contender Series, and he lost to Chad Angler, who is also a complete can. So just like a Naimov, who's they're both Tajikistan, my bad if I said that wrong. They both lost to cans on Contender Series, which that's just giant red flags. Cause why are you losing to these fucking nobodies that suck ass? And I'm not very confident. Yeah, this should be a really good fight though. The betting odds again typology, but I remember looking, and I think Castañeda is like -140. I agree. I think Castañeda should be a little favorite here, not a huge favorite like Mullarkey. I think 140, 130 is fine. Muin does have a good chance early in the fight, and if he doesn't gas, then I don't know how this fight will go, but more likely Castañeda will be able to survive early and win later rounds, if not get to finish later. So overall, I am going John Castañeda in this one. I do think he'll get to win here, and I think I'm gonna go decision. I think I don't know why, just something in my head tell me he won't get a finish, and I don't feel confident picking a finish, so I'm not gonna pick a finish. So I am gonna go John Castañeda to win this by decision. I think he'll survive early in, probably get us 29-28, 30-27, a nice win. So I'm going Sexy Mexy by decision. After that, we head into a heavyweight fight, and we got our first legend of 2 on the card, as we have Andrei the Pitbull Arlovski versus Dantel Lord Kong Mays. Always great to see Andrei Arlovski. I'm not gonna go deep into Andrei's career, because if I have to do that, you need to fucking check yourself. So I'll just talk about the last maybe 5 or so fights, because I think that's the only thing that matter. The motherfucker is 23-15-1 in the UFC. So I'll go till the Philipe Lins fight and up. So since that fight, since 2020, he is 6-2. Even though it should be more 5-3, his wins are Philipe Lins, Tanner Bowser, Chase Sherman, Carlos Felipe, Jared Van Dera. His losses are Tom Aspinall, Jake Collier, and DeLima. Overall, you can't get mad at his wins at being 40 plus. He's beating guys like Bowser, Felipe. Not bad. And he's had a 3-5 winning streak at one point. And his losses, dude, Tom Aspinall, we knew how that fight was gonna fucking go. Jake Collier, that was a bad night for Andrei. And DeLima's just has just been in his fucking bag the last 2 years or so. So, you can't get mad at that, because again, weirdly, DeLima's just really good. Yeah, man, you know what you're getting from Andrei now. You're getting slow. If he's gonna win this fight, it's gonna be slow. He's gonna slow down the pace. He's gonna hold you against the fence. He's gonna throw slow punches, nothing powerful. You're not gonna get rocked by him. You're not gonna get finished by him. Dude, he's not got a finish. He's not got a finish since 2015 against Travis Brown, and we all know that fight. So, and dude's got a lot of wins since. He's not got one finish or even close to. So, yeah, we know we're getting with Andrei at this point. And again, I'll say, yes, he is 44, but for some reason, people still talk about his age. Like, dude, we've been talking about this for, his last 18 fucking fights. He's shown that he can still fight at fucking 40 plus. Maybe at first, when he turned 40 and all that to talk about, by now, why? We know what we're getting with him. Dude's 44 and still, for heavyweight standards, which just goes back to my point earlier that heavyweight's a joke. For heavyweight standards, he's still pretty good. So, let that sink in. Fuck. Andrei Arlovski at 44 is still better than, 40% of heavyweights. Shit. That's sad. Dude, talk about his opponent a little bit, who I think, goddamn, sucks. And talk about Dontel Mays. What the fuck is wrong? Dontel is 2-3-1 in UFC. His 2 wins are Rogue Martinez and Josh Parisian. His 4 losses are Sorogan, Rodrigo Nascimento, and Augusto Sakai, and he has 1 draw with Hamadi Abdelwahab. He lost that one, but I think Hamdi popped for some shit. So yeah, Dontel's is garbage. I'll just keep it 100. Dontel is not good. Like, even in his wins, he's not looked good, and they were against shit fighters anyway. His losses, it's the same story. He gets taken down because he has no ground game. Where for the Sakai fight, he just gets held, and Dontel's just not good. 31 years old. He just seems like, in that Sakai fight, he just seems like he doesn't give a fuck. He just didn't seem like he cared in the slightest about being there or fighting. He just let Sakai hug him for 15 minutes and he went home. Like, damn, dude, if you need a check, that's sad. Like, maybe he'll actually try in this one, but I don't think it'll matter. I just think Andrei's better. A giant red flag here. Dude, Dontel fought on Contender Series 3 times. He lost the first time and won 2. And he beat Mo Usman on the regional scene a couple years ago. Yeah, Dontel Mays is garbage. I'll be honest, and he should lose this fight. My only, and I mean only fear, and I say this very lightly because it's Dontel Mays, I hope Andrei's chin can hold up. The reason I'm like, that's always a problem. Some of you worry about picking him, but I am worried about in this one, but at the same time I'm not as much as I usually am, because Dontel Mays, I'm not scared of his striking or power. If Andrei is any bit smart, which, dude, it's Andrei Arlovski, we know he is at least pretty MMA smart, he's just not gonna fucking fight stupid and get clipped, by Dontel Mays at least. So, Arlovski should win this, and the betting odds I don't get at all. Dontel Mays is -125 to +110. I think he's even a bigger favorite now. Dude, I have Arlovski like -190. Again, the only reason I don't put him 200 up is his chin I don't trust. If I trusted his chin, dude, I'd have him like 300. He should win this one easily. He should just hold him against the fence, maybe some striking, and he should go home with a win. So, for the first time, maybe ever, in a long, well, for me, in the first time in a long time, maybe since the Sherman fight, I'm gonna say fucking Arlovski should win this one. 44 years old, and I think he's a way better fighter than Mace. So, I am going Andrei Arlovski by decision here. I don't see Mace winning this fight, unless a bad decision, either a terrible decision, or he clips Andrei, which I think neither are gonna happen. So I'm going Andrei Arlovski by decision. He should walk away with a W Saturday night. His 35th W, his 24th in the UFC. That's crazy. So, and to go to our last prelim, the prelim that is the featured prelim now, I guess. I'm going off what Marcel tweeted a couple days ago. If it changes, if this is wrong, Marcel, great account, but this is what he tweeted. So I'm going off what he tweeted, I think, after the Mullarkey fight got booked. So I don't know if they moved Jim Miller down for his fight. I'll talk about that later. But as of right now, this is what the card looks like. So our new featured prelim is a fight that was booked about a month ago, but got rebooked here. I thankfully didn't break down this fight, I don't remember. So, let's break down for the first time. We have Daniel Willie Cat Santos versus Johnny Kid Kavenbo Munoz Jr. Decent fight. I'm excited to see Daniel Santos back after that last fight, and let's talk about Danny after. I talked about him a little bit with Castañeda, but his fight with Castañeda, I got a little bit more to say here. Daniel is 1-1 UFC. Again, his one win is John Castañeda, and his one loss is Julio Arce. Talk about our Arce fight first. Yeah, he just got out. He just got Julio was just a better fighter in that one. He took Daniel to school, showed him some shit, and I think actually after watching his last fight, I think Daniel did actually learn and get better from that Arce fight. Because in that Castañeda fight, dude, he trained with Charles Oliveira, he dyed the hair, and he had the most Charles Oliveira fight ever. He gets his shit beaten in round 1. Probably a 10-8 if I remember. Almost finished 3 times, and then in round 2 he comes back and gets the finish. The most Charles Oliveira shit ever. This motherfucker's a dog. Dead ass, this motherfucker's a dog. Like, he does not give a shit. Like, he went out there and just said, fuck you, I'm not losing. And he did not lose. Like, damn, this man is a dog. I can't say much. He had the most Charles Oliveira fight you'll ever see. I'm just crazy. To talk about Johnny Munoz, Johnny is 2-2 in the UFC. His 2 wins are Jamie Simmons and Ludovic Shololian, and his 2 losses are Nate Manis and Tony Gravely. Talk about his 2 wins. Jamie Simmons, one of the worst fighters ever, and even then Jamie looked pretty good against Johnny for a while, and then against Ludovic just sucks. And even then Ludovic didn't have that bad of a performance, so let that tell you a lot. For his 2 losses, Nate Manis, he gassed, if I remember, just didn't look good. And then against Tony Gravely, he got clipped real early in the first by a shot. So, yeah, I don't think Johnny's that good. I've not seen anything from him in his 4 fights to tell me anything. Like, over his last 3, Jamie Simmons is garbage, and he should have destroyed him, and he didn't. Tony Gravely, he getting flatlined by Tony Gravely in fucking 70 seconds, and Ludovic Shololian's not good. So I'm not impressed with Johnny in the slightest. Nothing about what I've seen from Johnny has impressed me, and I highlight he did anything in this fight too that is impressive besides lose. I just don't think Johnny's that good, and I think he like, for bantamweight, I could say the same thing for him I said for Damon. Actually, he might be the worst bantamweight on this card, because out of the 2 fights, I'll take Damon Blackshear over fucking Johnny Munoz. So yeah, Johnny's not good. So, and the betting odds agree. Daniel Santos minus 200 to plus 165. I agree. Daniel should win this one. Fucking all the momentum in the world after that Castañeda fight. Charles fighting next week. He wants to set a good vibe for that gym going into that fight. So I think he's gonna win this one. It's fuck a step down from Castañeda and Arce, like a motherfucker. And if just from what I think and what I've seen, I think Danny is just better everywhere. Striking, Santos is better. Grappling, Santos is better. So yeah, I think Santos is gonna go in there and set a good example is gonna get that gym even more hype for Charles next week. So yeah, I wonder if Charles is gonna be in his corner since he's training for next week, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm going Daniel Santos in this one, and I'm going. I'm going by. I'm going knockout in the first. I think he's in, maybe not in 70 seconds like Tony Gravely, but I do think he'll clip Johnny and hurt him bad and get the finish. So I am going Daniel Santos by knockout in the first. I think he'll be able to clip Johnny and send to Shadow Realm. So yeah, not much more to say there. That's the featured prelim. Pretty good prelims. It did get switched around a lot, but still, Andrei, Castañeda, Jinh, Mullarkey, some good fights, and even like the first 3 fights kind of suck, but when you get to that good 4, Jamie, Santos, Arlovski, and Castañeda, that's pretty good, man. I've said all week. I think I said in a tweet earlier in the week that if you cut off the first 3 fights, or even the Frey and Grishin fight, you got a way better card. I think that Frey and Grishin fight weighs the card down because those fights are garbage, but whatever. But yeah, that's the prelims. Let's talk about the main card. Let me hydrate real quick because you gotta stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Now let's go into this pretty good main card too. That's been, at least the main card's not been hit too bad with this injury curse, with this curse of this card. Only 2 fights have already been cursed by it, and yeah, at least the 2 fighters are still on the card. So we begin the main card with what was meant to be the featured prelim of the prelims, but got moved to the opening of the main card. And I like this on the main card. I think this is a great fight. We got Zaleski, Capoeira Zaleski, or whatever, EDS, I believe is his abbreviation, against Abubakar Nurmagomedov. Great fight, man. Great welterweight bout. Let's talk about ZDS. Zaleski's been off for almost 2 years now. He did pop for some shit. I don't think it was roids exactly. I think it was something. I'm trying to think what he popped for. Not saying, but I don't think there's anything big because he didn't get cut. He just got suspended for a year. But yeah, he's finally back. He's really good. Too bad he is 37, or 36, but the long layoff should do good for him. In the UFC, he is 9-3. His best wins are, let's see, what are his best wins? Nurmagomedov, Max Griffin, Sean Strickland, Benoit Saint Denis, which I'll talk about that in a minute. And his 3 losses are Nicholas Dalby, Li Jingliang, and Muslim Salikov. Yeah, you can't get mad at it. Pretty, like, Dalby's kind of shitty, but Salikov and Leach are good guys to lose to. And, like, the guys I didn't name on his wins are guys he should easily beat, like he did. Like, and dude, again, Max Griffin, Sean Strickland, BSD, not bad guys to beat. To talk about that Saint Denis fight, since that was his last fight, of course we know that fight for the legendary, beyond stupid reffing, that almost got Benoit fucking murdered. But, you know, BSD won the 3rd because Zaleski had to almost drain everything he had to finish him, and he still couldn't. So, but that was just a showcase. Like, the first 2 rounds were just a showcase for ZDS. So he's really good, I think. I hope that whatever he popped for doesn't affect him too much. I hope he still is so good. A year and almost 2 years off, being 36 years old now, and coming back to a pretty, not the hardest fight in the world, but still it is the Nurmagomedov. So I hope he still is that good fighter that he looked to be at times. Because I do think like, if he was a little younger, I could say he could be a ranked dude, but 36 might be able to win now. But I still think he could beat some dudes. And I think if he can win this one, I think that might still stand strong. To talk about his opponent, Abubakar Nurmagomedov. Not like the other Nurmagomedovs, not even as good as them. Like, compared to Umar, Saeed, Usman, like, he's terrible, but he's still okay. Like, in the UFC, he is 2-1. His 2 wins are Jared Gooden and Gadzi Omagadziev, and his 1 loss in his debut was against David Zawada, which is a really bad look. He's really fought low-level guys. Like, the best guy he's fought is Jared Gooden, who I think's garbage. Like, beating Godzi in his last fight. That was a dominating performance, but he didn't look that, he looked good, but Godzi's garbage, so. And then again, losing to David Zawada. Ew. Dog, what the fuck? Now, he's been booked against really good guys. Does he always pull out, or do they? Well, for 2 times it says he's pulled out against guys like D-Rod and Carlston Harris, so. I think Abubakar is talented, but I don't think he's ranked level. I don't think he's on the level. Even the worst Nurmagomedov is probably, like I said, Saeed. So, yeah, he's good. He's mainly a striker. His wrestling is, of course, he's Nurmagomedov, so it is good. But he's kind of like a watered-down version of a Nurmagomedov. So let's see how he does in the best fight against the best fighter he's fought so far in his career. So yeah, the bang odds are near pick'em 110 apiece. And I agree to a point. ZDS has been off for a year and popped for something big. Abubakar is not great, but still is good. So, when I saw this fight get booked, I think I remember thinking, wow, this is great booking. I'm very hyped for this fight. Because it is. I am very hyped for this fight. I think this is one of the best fights on the card. And I think it's one of the harder fights to pick on the card. Which, great booking by UFC. I'm happy this is getting the main card spotlight, I believe. So, yeah, who am I going with in this one? I've been flip-flopping all week. I think I finally got a pick, though. I think I'm going ZDS. I think I'm going Zaleski. Abubakar is really talented, but do I think he can... Zaleski better be really rusty, or whatever he was taking must have made him fucking great. And must, not taking anymore must have zapped him of his talent for him to probably lose this one. Because Abubakar is good, but on the feet, Zaleski's better. On the ground, Zaleski I think will be able to survive and probably get up. So, I think early, Zaleski will probably look good. Maybe the late second and the third will be scary. But I think Zaleski will be able to win the first 2 rounds and get the decision win here. So I am going Zaleski by decision. I think he'll come back and get a nice win. So I'm going ZDS by decision to begin the main card. After that, we head to women's flyweight for an okay fight. A fucking giant upgrade from the first female fight on this card. And we got Karine Killer Silva versus Ketlen, not saying that nickname, Souza. Good fight. Let's talk about Karine, who I've already broken down a fight of hers this year, but it didn't happen because who she was fighting, I think, pulled out. Yeah, that was actually only 2 months ago, and Castañeda missed weight and had to pull out. Well, no, Silva said no. So yeah, good for her. I'll say the same thing I did for her against Castañeda. She is 1-0 in the UFC, coming off Contender Series. In her UFC debut, she beat Poliana Botelho, which I'm not gonna say a bad thing about. I'm not gonna say a bad thing about Botelho because she does have cancer right now. Prayers up. Hope you get well. I'm not gonna say a bad thing about Botelho. All I will say is she looked good. Karine looked really good in her debut. And now she's fighting someone who I believe was the what fine promotion was Ketlen the champion of? Invicta. I thought it was Invicta, but at the same time, like, is it? I don't want to just say Invicta, but yeah, I thought so. It's a step up in competition, and I like this fight. Battle of 2 prospects who are on nice long winning streaks. I believe Karine's on a winning streak right now. She is on a 6-fight winning streak, which is pretty good. So yeah, I think Karine is a really good prospect, and I think this is a good step up fight for her. Talk about Ketlen a little bit, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've never seen a moment of her fighting. All I know is she is the Invicta, was the Invicta champion. She is 27 years old, young, and she is on a 5-fight winning streak. Again, Invicta champion. Invicta is the proving ground for female fighters, and yeah, not looking over her record, the only person she's fought that I've heard of is Ariane Cornelossi, which losing to her is pretty bad. But since she's fucking on a nice 5-fight winning streak, and maybe she's good. We'll see. UFC signed her for a reason. The betting odds for this fight have Karine minus 225 to plus 175. Yeah, probably. Karine is really good. Fucking, I wanna move Karine down favor wise a little bit, maybe to minus 190, 185. Like, I think Ketlen got signed for a reason. I think she's probably pretty good. But overall, I do think Karine is still probably better and should win. Karine is taller by 2 inches. Like, and if I remember, Ketlen's a little bit small for flyweight anyway. So, I do think Karine will win this fight. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that 200 minus 200 tag. But maybe I'm stupid. So overall, I'm gonna go Karine Silva to win this one, and I'm gonna go by. I'll say decision. I think Ketlen will survive to the final bell. Maybe. I want to see more from Karine before I say any stoppage. So I'm going Karine Silva by decision. After that, now we get into a fight I actually have a lot to say about, and I'm gonna say a little bit on the elephant in the room and then move on. We go on to our next fight, which is Tim Elliott versus Victor El Magnifico Altamirano. All I'll say on the Tim Elliott situation, which, don't lie, we all know about it, is I got nothing more to say besides fuck Gina Mazzani and fuck Kevin Krum. Both giant pieces of shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Now talk about the fight. Let me. I gotta get back in the breakdown mindset. I'll start by saying this fight is not meant to happen. Victor is stepping in for Alan Nascimento, so it was not. It's like a couple months now, but still, I just wanted to say that. So let's talk about Tim Elliott a little bit. It's been a long time since I broke down an Elliott fight. Like, the last fight he had was Tagir Ulanbekov, which he should have lost that fight. And that was in early 2022, so it's been a while. Tim in the UFC is 7-10. We all know about his debut against DJ after winning the Ultimate Fighter. Looked really good in that fight. And since, Tim has just been win-lose. He's got some okay wins. He's really, like, his best win would be Tagir, but he really didn't win that fight, so really his best win is what? Luis Smoka? Jordan Espinosa? I don't know why that name was hard to say. Like, if you look at his losses since DJ, like, he won on a 3-fight losing streak, but look against who? Davison Figueiredo, Oscar Askarov, and Brandon Royval. Jesus Christ. Talk about a murderer's row. And then his last loss was against Mateus Nicolau. So this dude's last 4 L's against 4 of the top 5 of the division. Like, Jesus Christ. We know we're getting with Tim now, a very awkward fighter, that is his nickname, kind of. And just a guy who confuses you. Yes, he's been off for a year now. Yes, what is his mindset? Yes, he is 36 years old. And yes, he's under a new gym. I forget where he went. I think it was to Jacksonville or some shit. He's not at Glory, I can tell you that much. So, yeah, I'm excited to see Tim fight in this one. And to talk about his mindset, which I think is a big talking point of this breakdown of this fight. I look at it 2 ways. Either he's gonna just be mentally fucked, or he's gonna be mentally wanting to kill Altamirano. He's gonna just go in there trying to fight. If he goes in there just trying to fight, just because he's so built up with anger, then it's gonna be interesting. If he goes in there mentally fucked, though, then it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be really sad. So let's see what Tim we get, man. to talk about his opponent, Victor Altamirano. Props to Victor for stepping in not long after his last fight. Excuse me. In the UFC, Victor is 2-1. His 2 wins are Daniel Dos Santos and Salvador. And in his UFC debut, he lost to Carlos Hernandez in a really close fight. Talk about his last fight, which was only a couple months ago, against Salvador. That was a brawl, and he took a lot of damage. I'm shocked he has come back so quick. But he's back, man. Altamirano's a dog. He has that dog in him. That Daniel Dos Santos, Lacerda, whatever you want to call him, fight showed a lot. He has that dog in him. His gas tank's kind of weak. Like, if you get him late into the second, he's gonna be gassed. So I think that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, overall, he's pretty okay. He can brawl, but he's never gonna be a ranked flyweight. He's just okay. Like, dude's taking some damage though. In his last 2 fights alone, he's taking a lot of fucking damage. I'm interested to see only coming back so quick. Like only about a month ago, apparently, and against a dude who's been off for so long, and who knows how he's gonna be mentally and how he's gonna fight. It's gonna be interesting. This fight is a lot of questions that are waiting to be answered, and I'm very excited to see them answered. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight had Tim Elliott minus 175 to plus 145. I don't know. I'd move Tim down a bit just because, again, you don't know what you're getting with Tim. I'd say Tim should probably be minus 130. Like, a little bit of a favorite, but not a huge favorite. He should win this fight over, like, yes, he's been off for a year, but he can still go, it seemed like. Again, yes, he did cheat and probably should have lost a Tagir fight, but still, he's looked okay against Tagir, who's a dog. And then, again, all his losses, his last 4 losses against top-tier guys. And he can beat guys like shitty flyweights. Not saying Victor's a shitty flyweight, just he's not very good. But, like, his last 2 wins, his last 2 real wins with Brian Benoit and Jordan are garbage fighters, so he can still beat these layups. Well, let's see how he does against Victor. Overall, how do I think Tim's gonna get this? I know decision seems the obvious one, but I feel like he's gonna go for that kill. He's gonna be frustrated as shit, angry as shit. I think he's gonna go for that finish. I'm going Tim Elliott by submission in the second. I think Victor's gonna start to gas, and I think Tim's gonna be able to lock in a guillotine or rear naked choke, something, get a nice submission win. No matter what, I'd be picking it. No matter who Elliott was fighting, I'd be picking Tim in this one, just because how could you not? I think I speak for everyone. I say we are all cheering for Tim to win after that bullshit, and get that W, Tim. So I'm going Tim Elliott by submission in the second. I hope he can do. He deserves it. He really fucking does. So Tim Elliott by submission in the second. After that, I might be one of the first breakdowns of this fight. After that, a fight that was literally booked today because someone got pulled from the fight. From this fight, we have Jim A10 Miller versus Jesse Butler. I have no fucking idea who Jesse Butler is either. Long story short, Jared Gooden did step in to fight Jim Miller, so the long story of this fight was it was meant to be Jim Miller versus Ludwig Klein. Then Ludwig Klein pulled out and Jared Gooden stepped in, or Gordon stepped in, but I guess he didn't get medically cleared because he got headbutted by Bobby Green not even a month ago. And now Jesse Butler stepped in today on barely 2 days notice to fight Jim Miller. So what the fuck? I'm not gonna really break down this fight. Jim Miller's gonna win. I don't see where Jesse Butler wins this fight on 2 days notice against Jim Miller, who can still go at 39 years old. So maybe the kid does the impossible, but I fucking doubt it. I'm going Jim Miller to get the win here, and I'm going to say he gets a normal, classic Jim Miller knockout. So I'm going Jim Miller by knockout in the second. I think Jesse might come out fucking trying to get the kill, but I think Jim's gonna be able to do what Jim does best, get that knockout. So I'm going Jim Miller by knockout in the second. And fuck, Jim Miller could easily be on a 4-fight winning streak. You could easily give him that fucking Hernandez fight. So yeah, man, Jim can still go. Can't wait to see him fight at UFC 300, and I think he got a win here. And if this fight would get booked sooner, then Jim Miller would be my lock of the night. But I already called Jamie Mullarkey it, so yeah, Jim Miller's gonna win. Nothing more to say. It's knockout in the second. After that, we head into the co-main event of the evening. We have Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres versus Daniel the Pit Pineda. Let's talk about Bruce Leroy. We all know what we're getting with Bruce Leroy by now. Like, it's in his name. He fights like Bruce Lee on the feet. He can grapple pretty well. He's really good. He seems to weirdly be coming into his own now at fucking 34. Like, since 2019, like, since the end of 2019, he seems to just be coming into his own. Like, since the end of 2019, he is 6-1. And he beat decent guys. Steven Peterson, Chase Hooper, Sung Hoo Choi, Julian Erosa. He's only lost to Sadiq Yusuf. And that was a pretty, not a close fight, but wasn't a domination. So, it's weird that Caceres actually finally, like, he's always been good, but he's always been a weird, like, before then he's been he's won some, he's lost. Like, he'll win a couple, then he'll lose a couple. He'll win one and then lose one. Win one, lose one. Like, his best win before this nice winning streak is Sergio Pettis, which we all know Sergio Pettis in UFC sucked for some reason. But then if you go down the list of guys he lost to, I'll just name the important ones: Michael Johnson, Uriah Faber, Yair Rodriguez in a main event, Jason Knight, Kron Gracie. So, like, the dude's always, like, he's always been hot and cold, but it seems like he's really just been hot lately. Like, his last bad performance, we're going back along until probably the Gracie fight, because just every fight he's just looking good. Against Choi, the insane comeback, knocking off Chase Hooper when Hooper typed up, knocking out Julian Erosa badly, and then again he didn't get completely dominated by Yusuf. That was a pretty decent fight. So I'm happy for Bruce Lee that he's finally putting it together. Like, his striking is finally looking really good. His grappling's always been good. He's finally putting it together at 34. And he might have saved his fucking career, because I don't know how much longer the UFC would have been able to, like, deal with him. It's like, if he kept doing the wins and losses, they might cut him by now. But nah, man, he said, fuck you, I'm gonna just start winning. So yeah. Just talk about his opponent a little bit, Daniel Pineda. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. They're only giving him this fight because he's entertaining. Like, dude, this dude's garbage. Like, he finally got his first win in UFC since 2020 against Tucker Lutz. Like, but since the UFC returned in 2020, he is 2-1-1. His 2 wins are Herbert Burns and Tucker Lutz, 2 garbage cans. And he's 2-2, because he lost to Andrei. He just got eye poked. Like, he just got his ass beat, and then Cub Swanson knocked his fucking head off. So, dude, Pineda's not good. He's 37. He beat up a fucking joke in Tucker Lutz. So, I'm not gonna waste much time on it. The betting odds for this fight have Bruce Leroy -175 to +140. Bruce Leroy's gonna win this. I would have Caceres maybe even 200 and higher. Dude, he's way better. He's younger. He's taking less damage. He's better everywhere. Where's Pineda better at? Maybe wrestling, but grappling and submissions, Caceres is better. Gas tank Caceres, striking Caceres, skill Caceres, fucking last win Caceres. So this is not gonna be a fight. I think Caceres is going to easily win this. He's going to have to stop Pineda's takedowns, but he'll win. So, and how do I think he's going to win? I think he's going to survive Pineda in the first, gas him out a little bit, because Pineda's gas tank's embarrassing. And then in the second, when Pineda gasses more, I think Caceres is going to stuff a takedown, and then maybe go for a guillotine or rear naked choke. Get on top, maybe ground and pound armbar or something. But I think Bruce Leroy is going to win this, maybe get a finish, and I'm going Alex Caceres by submission in the second. Pineda's going to gas and get subbed. So, yeah. Bruce Leroy could even knock him out, apparently, since that's what he does in his last fight, at least. So, yeah, I'm going Alex Caceres by submission in the second. He should win this fight pretty easily. Pineda's not good. I'm being honest with you. So, yeah. And now to talk about the main event of the evening. A fight that it's a great fight. I'm just not high on it as a main event. It is probably better than Jack Hermanson and Brendan Allen, which was meant to be the main event of this card, but I got pulled, so it is better than that. But I'm not jumping for joy at this main event. But whatever, could be good. We got Kai, Don't Blink, Cara France versus Amir, the Prince. Baze. I won't make this breakdown too long, because I don't think there's much to say. We all know what we're getting with Kai by now. One of the best flyweights in the world. Great striking, not very powerful, more volume. And, dude, he's good. He was winning against Moreno until the body shot. He was fucking... Dude, fucking beat Oscar Askarov. Like, dude, he's really good. That war with Brandon Royval, he's good, really fucking good, and I think he's a gatekeeper now. I think we can give him that title, cause dude, the Moreno feud's over. He's not gonna fight for the belt again if he's holding it. Maybe he beats Pantoja. I doubt it. Did he rematch Royval? I don't know. No cop. So Kai the gatekeeper now. For Amir, this is his first test, because in UFC he is 4-0, but dude, his 4 wins are kind of weird. Malcolm Gordon, garbage. Lugas Zumagulov, not garbage, but come on. Francisco Figueiredo, really garbage. And Alessandro Costa, yeah. Like, I'll give him this. He cannot fight. They booked him against so many, like, actual decent guys, and the fight just falls through. Just name a few. Ode Osborne, Tim Elliott, Brandon Royval. Like, dude, and every time it's not him pulling out, Royval pulled out. Fucking Elliott pulled out. Well, I'll give all fine. Ode did not pull out. Ode did not pull out. Albazi did, but still, like, this is his first chance. This is his first real chance. Cause yes, he's easily beaten for pretty bad fighters. Like, when your best UFC win is Lugas Zumagulov, you got a problem. But maybe he shows that maybe he's a lot better than his wins show. But this is the time to show that. He's ranked, I think, 8th, and it's time for him to show what he can do. And not many harder fights at flyweight than Kai Cara France. So let's see what Albazi can do, man. Let's see what Amir can do. So I think it's going to be a really good fight. Can Kai stop the takedowns? Can Albazi handle Kai's striking? A lot of questions to be answered, and I'm excited to see them answered. So, who do I think will win this fight? The main thing, like, I was kind of iffy on this fight at the start, but now I think I know who I'm going with. The main fight that gave me the confidence in my pick is a fight I already named. Oscar Askarov and Kai Cara France. If Kai can stop Oscar's takedowns and beat him, who Oscar's a dog, I think he's going to be able to do it to Albazi. I think he's going to do the same thing to Albazi. I think he'll stop Amir's takedowns, keep it on the feet. I think he'll be able to outstrike him pretty easily. Maybe finish him. It is 5 rounds. Albazi's not won 5 rounds in the UFC, if ever. I think Kai's going to get the win here. I think he's going to... He fucking trains from the best fighters in the world. He fucking, again, has beaten some of the best fighters, been in the cage with some of the best flyweights in the world. And I think that Askarov fight showed a lot about Kai. And that was only a year ago, not even. Well, a little over a year ago. So, I am going Kai France in this one. The main question now is how. My brain is telling me two things: either a late finish, third, fourth, fifth, or a decision. I'm going decision. I think maybe later. I could see the fight getting pretty shitty later in the fight, but because Amir could gas, and then I think not think Kai's gonna gas, but I do think Kai will slow down a bit, so it might become a little bit not like a stalemate, but it might be a lot of chilling against the fence or like setting up shit. I don't know. I just don't think a finish here. Maybe a body shot or a really good shot timed, but overall I am gonna go Kai France to win this one by decision. Stopped his takedowns. I don't think he's gonna get clipped or hurt by Albazi, and I think he will win this one and take Albazi's UFC O. So, yeah, those are my picks. To go over them one more time, we got Maxim Grishin by decision, Luan Lacerda by decision, Elise by decision, Daniel Santos by, actually no, it's not even the order. Fuck, how we go off topology order, I don't give a fuck. Daniel Santos by knockout in first, Andrei Arlovski by decision, John Castañeda by decision, Zaleski by decision, Jinh Mullarkey lock of the night by knockout in the second, Karine Silva by decision, Tim Elliott by submission in the second, Jim Miller by knockout in the second, Alex Caceres by knockout by submission in the second, and Kai France by decision. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if that order from Marcel is correct, but that's what I'm gonna go off for a breakdown, and I fucking I'll just go for what the picks are right now, because doing that whole fucking jumping from fight to fight thing is a pain in the ass. So those are my picks. You can fucking whatever order, and yeah, that's the card. Is it the best card in the world? No, and like losing Jim Miller getting a fucking layup, losing German Taladze, losing Madej Mandanka. Then that one hurts the least, because I think Gafurov is good. Still have so many injuries. Like, just to go down a couple, just to look at the cancellation page for this fight. Fucking Brennan Allen, Jack Hermanson, David Onama, fucking 2 fights for Jim Miller, Mandanka, German. Like, Jesus fuck, man. This card's cursed. But whatever, this is the card we got, and it's not terrible, but if that Durn card can be amazing and Durn Hill can be a great fight, like I said earlier, anything can be. So I'm gonna be hopeful for this card, first card in 2 weeks, unless it happens. And then next week we head to Canada for a card that's falling apart day by day. So I don't know if we'll even still have a card by next week in Canada, but hopefully, because Irene, Jasmine, Charles, can't wait. So ate the train, fuck. But yeah, not much more to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me your picks and all that down below. And not much more I can say, guys. For like, comment, sub, 100 subs go by the end of the year. And as always, RX out. Don't blink.